spaced it at 10 feet by 10 feet standard. Do standard holes, 3 feet wide, 2 feet deep. From there, plant the bananas with manure. Because we put manure, not because we only want nutrients, but because we want enough aeration, we want enough water retention, and above all, we also need the nutrients from the bananas. So people have this syndrome of putting fertilizer when they are planting without manure. Right, it will supply the nutrients, but the soil will harden, it will cake up, and then the banana will tend to come up, to come to the softer zone. So when it comes up, it means you are losing the banana to wind, to weevils, everything. The other simple practices that people ignore is mulching. When you don't mulch a banana plantation, it would mean that actually you put that you will always have to put a handhole in the garden to weed, to remove everything. But then when you put a hole, it means you are cutting the roots. You are at a risk of bacterial wilt. You are cutting the roots that are supposed to be feeding the plant, and above all, you're losing water. So I want it to be emphasized. But when you're mulching, make sure that you leave, you see this space from here to here. We emphasize a clean spell of 2 feet. And the reason is we don't want the weevils to infest here. We do not want the roots to go back here. So we leave this. It is a standard. And then we ensure forking. Naturally, all plants that need a lot of water have wide leaves. The banana, on addition, even has a gutter to collect the water down the plant. But Vambe, the poor farmer, will let his water collected by the plant run off because they don't fork on the sides to raise the soil and to make sure that when the water comes, it actually goes down instead of flooding or running off. And then the other point of emphasis is that when you're going to mulch, please fork the soil so that you don't have the roots coming in the mulch, and when the dry season they dry. So fork in that the water goes in and the roots go under. Yes, then the other point is when you are managing your suckers, you have to manage the mother, the daughter, and the granddaughter. In that when the mother got a daughter, the mother should not produce. Anything that comes from the mother, you kill, you uproot. Then the daughter comes in the picture. When the daughter produces, then it doesn't produce again. The granddaughter is supposed to be now the production end. The reason is, the moment this mother produces a daughter at the late age when he's fruiting, he will divert attention from the fruit to the daughter. That means the size of the bunch will become small. If he has already put hands, the hands will be small. And all mothers are bright. There is no mother who will let a daughter starve when he's putting a bunch. No, they let the daughter eat and then they eat the surplus. The more the generation that is coming, the better. It means you are taking good care of the banana plantation. That gives you succession in the generation of harvest. You harvest that one, this one is coming in the picture. You harvest this one, the granddaughter is coming in the picture. And that's why they say the banana plantation is a perennial crop indeed, and is a sustainable food crop. Because you want to go wrong, you want to starve. No, for twins we don't allow.
We have a comprehensive farmers training program, and it really starts right from getting the farmers to understand the anatomy of the Matooke plant. What is a Matooke plant? What makes it tick? Then how do you establish it? You know, how do you prepare it for planting? And then how do you nurture it when it's young? How do you nurture it when it's about to flower? And how do you nurture it when it has, shoots? Then also we look at it on how you're going to harvest it, and prepare your banana for delivery. But also we look at the seasons. How are we going to nurture it in the dry season? How are we going to nurture it in the wet season? These mulching vis-a-vis not mulching, you get it. So that they can make choices, because we show them even the cost benefit of the things that you can do and give them options. So training for production is one of the things that we've been really doing.
The biggest challenge that people are facing actually is a pest called banana weevil. They call it kasa. But it is a hygiene-related disease or pest, because it comes when people have not respected the leaving 2 feet from the banana without any trash, because the trash allows the hiding of the weevil, and then the weevil lays eggs, and then the eggs hatch into larvae, and then they enter the comb. So discipline is remove all the trash, leave that place hostile for anything to lay eggs. It will not come. But when it comes, we normally use pesticides. Strong one is poison, carbofuran. Then the disease, the banana wilt disease, yes, it's there, but it is a simple disease that is very well managed by people who have discipline. Because they tell you, please, when you are detrashing, please remove only the dry part of the leaf. Someone comes and says, my banana has so many leaves, he starts cutting off the leaves. Yet you are not supposed to cut leaves. Then you find you're spreading a disease around. The other challenge is the women at home. Because they need banana leaves for covering the food, they will move with the knife here, there, and they cut, move around, they spread it. Discipline is map out a single place where people harvest leaves for covering their food at home. And they should not be wasteful. Then the other thing is, since you know that it only can move from sap, a live material, sap you cut here, you cut there, and you move sap from here to another plant, you get the what? The wilt. Please make sure you don't cut. The other discipline is, when you cut an infected plant, disinfect the tool. They can say use jig, but I won't tell you to use jig. Use fire. Because if you bought fake jig, you would lose a plantation. But if you use the fire, you'll be sure that I've used the fire and I've killed the what? The pathogen. So you'll be safe. Don't take chances. It's a banana plantation. It's food for the family. Then manure. Manure we can always improvise. You buy small manure, you can top it up with inorganic, so that you do a combination of organic, inorganic. At least you get enough manure to change the soil structure and enough nutrients from the other inorganic source. Though, I wouldn't advise you to go inorganic without the organic source, because you'll have your inorganic source leaching and you not benefit from it, because the crop is here for so many months and the fertilizer can leach in 2 months. So the advice would be, do integration, inorganic, organic, so that the organic holds the inorganic and it at least stays for a year or 2. It can be pig silage, it can be biogas, biodigester silage, it can be goat's manure, it can be cow dung, it can any. But at least put something that will change the structure and increase aeration. And if you can have a variety that is resistant to drought, and the proven variety is Nabusa, what the Wanyankore call Enyeru, Nachitembe, Mbwazirime, you see these are the Uganda varieties. Those ones have proven to be working better. Here we have harvested a second Nachitembe. We have harvested only one Mpologoma, the big bunch. And we do not have a second one coming. Meaning I've eaten twice before I see the second one on Mpologoma. So most people, and then Nabusa, those ones that are hardy. Most people here are excited with Chisansa and Mpologoma. But to me, I know the results, because the plantation we have in Bushenyi shows us that Enyeru has the smallest weight, but the most number of harvests. And so it gives us an average of 53 tons per hectare, when others can do 30, 40.
Uganda, the land of sunshine. Breathtaking, stunning sights, incredibly extensive large greenery. Variety of wild animals and bird species.
From here, bananas in all shapes and sizes make their way to markets across Uganda. But for all the value they have as a stable diet, they are not as lucrative a cash crop as they should be.
That you have to sell your bananas at a very low price, and therefore as a farmer you are making some losses there. Secondly, that without value addition the bananas will be in much saturation and then they start rotting because you can't keep them. They will expire, if I can use that word. But when you add value, you extend the shelf life.
We've started the production. We now have substantial volumes of banana flour coming out. So we are talking to millers of wheat, and the first bird will take it to see if we can package banana flour, in that way. But also we are planning, going down the lane, to train some of our bakers who have got substantial volume to learn how to use this flour into the bakeries. Train the farmers into value addition. And in value addition, we're going to train them, as I told you, in terms of making this raw banana flour, peeling and drying. You get it? But also we're going to train them into making the fruit. If the banana gets too ripe and you cannot get it to market, you can also make a new product. And as I said, we are establishing market for both of these for export, so that the farmer doesn't make loss. So this will be that mainstream, but also we intend to train our communities into bakery, because we know that malnutrition stores most of the banana cropping systems. The reason being that Matooke does not lend itself to making an easy snack, you get it, because they don't make menvu. So if the child cannot eat menvu from Matooke, then apart from cooking, you cannot give anything. So we want to teach them so that they can be able to do their own bakeries and be able to nurture the families better. So these are the three mainstream in terms of the value addition that we're going to train them. Then we're going to train them in business skills, because some of them, especially the bakers, we're looking at the bakers, we want our bakers to be competitive. Of course, we know the flour is slightly more expensive than the wheat flour, so we want to teach them on how they can make money all the same using a banana flour.
We have two types. We have raw and instant. Instant is used for food, porridge, and we also have raw Matooke flour, which is used for baking. We bake, we get biscuits, cakes. We also make chapati out of this, bread. Several things can be got from this. Then another thing, like when you are going abroad, you can't take a whole bunch in the plane, but it is easier for you to eat Matooke abroad when it's packed. You still feel at home, you're having your food.
We are not only looking at the local market, we are looking at pushing this product to the external market. And the being gluten-free was a very great news on the international market. Also, we looked at the starch properties of the Matooke, and we found that it has what we call the resistant starch. Now, resistant starch means that starch, if you eat it in the raw form, it doesn't get digested. You get it? So this resistant starch that is in Matooke, for every 100 parts, 60 parts contains what we call resistant starch. And the Western world is looking for that combination of gluten-free and resistant starch. So we have a lot of markets that have opened up that are waiting for this flour. Our business is to do transfer of the technology to the farmers, which we are now busy working on. We certainly are in Bushenyi, but we the technology for the drying can be repackaged to have smaller drying facilities, train people, oversee the process to ensure that the quality standards are matching the demands, and then we bring everything to change for milling and packaging. The banana production cycle is very dynamic, and actually that's why indeed government invited us to work into this production cycle, because there are times when we have what we call the peak. The peak season is actually the dry season. The bananas, then it's like you are set a frame, you know, they ripen very quickly, so you need to harvest very quickly, process very quickly, otherwise you cannot, you know, have value for money. And this is the most distressful time for the farmers, because at that point the bananas, the price really goes almost zero, because the middlemen know that if they deal dally, the farmer will give the banana for anything. But at our, we work with cooperatives, we discuss with them the pricing for each month, and we try to keep within that, even if it's the peak season. And we are not only looking at the raw, we are looking at a possibility of getting even ripe. You see some ripe banana. We also are discussing markets for drying the ripe banana. The objective of this is that the farmer will not lose anything. You know, we will get the green banana, but also the ripe banana. If they get ripe, we'll be able to dry them so that the farmer can get some price out of this, because that is really how we can optimize the value of any sector. We've looked at different banana flowers, including the fir. The fir flower has got no competition, as it doesn't at all measure up to this product. And our market's demand for Matooke flower, as the volumes go up, they will become cheaper, as particularly the secondary products. I mean, on the average, we are I think the leading consumer of bananas anywhere in the world. So it is right that we export some of this banana to other parts of the world. I think I've said it more than once, that one of the reasons I really felt I needed to do my PhD on bananas, on Matooke, because there were no books about Matooke, and I wanted to be sure, is Matooke not toxic for us? You get it? Because if it was toxic, I think we should be dying, all of us. So really, by getting the competitive markets, we want to have more income for the farmers. Because we actually, as I said, our company is going to be like a broker. Eventually, as the markets become better, the farmers' earnings are going to become also much better. So really, I think that we should not look at the challenges. The challenges will always be there. You know, now today we have this cholera, we have what, we have now we have this problem. But I am a very positive thinker. I believe that if you have a vision, you have a focus, anything is possible. You can do anything to overcome. So we have challenges. We don't have enough for financing. Now when you are trying to lobby for financing, now other challenges come up, but I believe that we shall overcome as we go forward. And I have a team of very vibrant young people. Actually, we train at 2 levels. We train the farmers. We have a training program, and actually we have also training material targeting the farmers. Train them right from production, value addition, and marketing. Because we're looking at, in our partner farmers, we're going to support them grow their own bakeries, you know, so that they can be able to use this flour, as I said, to do products for to mitigate nutrition issues into the communities. Because most of the communities that grow Matooke actually do not have alternatives for a snack, you know, and apart from Menvu, they have nothing.